It's time for the X and Y Show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y Show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y Show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings, and greetings. Welcome to another segment of the XY Show. I'm your host, Roosevelt, and I'm happy to be back with you. It's been a long time. I miss you guys and gals. I miss you guys, but if you've followed me on Twitter and so forth, I had a couple of deaths in the family. So that's, one of them was kind of expected, but one of them kind of hit me out of left field. And it's, it surprised the whole family. And it's like, death is never easy to deal with, it's one thing you have to accept. It's part of life. And, I realized that I want to talk about that in another later segment, treating family members good or loving them while they're here, instead of, when they're gone, then sending them flowers and sending their family flowers and buying them sodas and, all kind of shit for the funeral. But instead of doing that, treating the person well while they're here. A lot of people out there are having problems with families and stuff. And a lot of times the problems are rooted from just pure bullshit. And it's not important. It really isn't when you think about it. A lot of times, a lot of the issues, a lot of times their family members don't even remember how they started. And so it's just bullshit. People go 5, 10, 15, 20 years without speaking to their parents or their uncles or sisters and brothers. And it's all bullshit. You only get one set of family. Once they're gone, that's it. So I think I want to talk about that in a later segment. But anyway, that's why I was away. So I'm happy to be back now. I'm okay. Life goes on. That's the way it is. We have no choice in the matter. So anyway, without further ado, I would like to get into the episode tonight. Something I would like to talk about is something that is always bothered me. That old saying, mother's babies, father maybe. I want to talk about, a lot of people are getting the DNA test done, finding out where they come from, if they come from Europe or they come from Africa or, come from Australia and all kind of bullshit. Me personally, I don't believe in those DNA tests. I think it's just an easy way to get a lot of stupid motherfuckers registered in some DNA database. So yeah, if you did the DNA test where you swabbed your mouth or took some kind of blood test and prick your blood and send in the DNA and they sent you a thing back saying that you're part Irish and you're part Scottish, and that's all bullshit. And you are a stupid motherfucker for falling for the okie doke and letting them, really in essence, allowing them to put you in a DNA database. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. And it's not a hard effort because you stupid motherfuckers are volunteering from all of these DNA services that do it for a fee. So they're even making money off of you stupid motherfuckers for sending your DNA to them and allowing them to put it in a database somewhere. That's all it is, a DNA registration. That's all it is. And, because of that, there's other things that have come from that as well. When you talk about DNA and so forth, a lot of times people go to the hospital from injuries and so forth, and they find out shit that they shouldn't have found out. A lot of guys find out that Billy is not their son, or Angela is not their daughter. Or they just do a simple DNA test and, from a blood procedure or some kind, and, let's get it from your father. He'll be an excellent donor. And the doctor comes up and, and next thing you know, he's pulling the father inside the office and saying, you're not the father. So without further ado, tonight's episode, men, if you find out the kid isn't yours after years pass, would it matter? Men, if you find out the kid isn't yours after years pass, would it matter? And, like I said before, in the premise, a lot of times, there's a lot of men out there that are raising kids that are not theirs. And some men know, some men don't. Some men don't give a fuck. They just don't want to go there. They don't want to rock the boat, so to speak. They raised a kid from an infant or whatever, or a toddler or whatever the case may be. And that's good enough for them. He's my son. She's my daughter. Nothing needs to be said. But I think it is important when you find out if a kid is not yours, because it says a lot about the woman who's actually cheated on you, and let somebody else fuck them and nut in them and actually have a kid from them. I mean, let's be honest. If you're listening to my voice right now, look at your kids, go in your bedroom, go in their bedrooms where they're sleeping. They should be asleep about now. And look at those little motherfuckers and see if they actually look like you. I know a lot of you are saying secretly, damn, this motherfucker really don't look like me. I know some of you have thought about it. It's nothing. That's human nature. You're light skinned and the little kid come out, dark skinned, or you're dark skinned and the little kid come out real light, or the kid come out with real coarse hair and shit, look like he's half Indian or some shit. You question, is he really mine? I mean, that's human nature, And you've been raising and feeding and clothing this little motherfucker for years. And to find out that he's not yours, would it matter? Would it matter? Now, I want to just read you some segments of an article that was done by a Jessica Rapana. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's kind of cute too. Jessica Rapana. She did an article from honey9.com. Basically, men share what it's actually like to find out the kid isn't yours. So basically, she did a study, or it's like a recorder where men would call in, and actually they knew that the kid wasn't theirs, or they suspected that it wasn't theirs. Some men that it bothered, some they forgave their wives and just didn't care. Some they just didn't want to rock the boat. It was different reasons. But, reading some of this shit, it really, I'm going to be honest with you. I always had the notion one day that I wanted to get married and have a family and so forth. But I'm doing the background for this episode, it really questioned my idea of, do I really want to get married? And the reason behind that is, I don't know if I could really trust a woman in that way, 100%. And I know a lot of you say, oh man, you can't be like that. You can't be like that. You'll never get into one. You got to trust. That's what being a part of a relationship and being a part of a marriage is about. You got to trust. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's theoretical, But I'm talking about realistically. Is that in my future? When I'm reading a lot of shit, as far as today's standards go, a lot of people just don't respect marriage anymore. It's like a thing where it's like, okay, we're married, but we really they look at it like it's an extended relationship, like you're a augmented boyfriend and girlfriend and shit. A lot of people just do it for show. They don't understand the importance, of a marriage. They don't understand the seriousness of a marriage. And I respect a marriage. I really do. And I respect vows if I ever have one. I will respect those vows until the day I die. But I think that I'm a rarity. I think that, not only a lot of women, I'm not picking on women, a lot of men just don't respect marriage. That's why you have so many fucked up relationships. A lot of men and women just want to fuck, don't want to commit to anyone. And if they do commit to anyone, they still fucking other people. A lot of people just don't respect marriage. A lot of people don't know what a real marriage is. They never seen one before. Their parents were divorced at an early age. So they don't know what a real marriage is. I know what a real marriage is. My parents were married for 53 years before my dad passed. So I know what a real marriage looks like. Is it perfect? No. Is it a Cosby Show? No. It's not perfect, However, they respected one another. They loved each other. My parents always were there for me, and I will never forget them for that. I mean, they were the true example of a marriage. It wasn't perfect, but no marriage is. There's no marriage that exists where, you never argue. Motherfuckers trip me out when they say, oh, I never seen my parents argue before. Well, your parents are crazy as hell if they never argued before, because there are going to be disagreements in anything. So I think that, when you look at a marriage and say we're not arguing and, we're not disagreeing and blah, 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 so we have a perfect marriage, I think you're missing the point. Having a perfect marriage is not because you disagree, or have, disagree with each other or argue sometimes. That's all about what a marriage is supposed to be. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have, arguments and so forth. But the key is making up. That's the key. And the key, and that's what makes a healthy marriage, being able to make up. But I just think that in today's standard, I think that a lot of people just don't respect marriage. They don't. So that's why you have a lot of infidelities that even produce children on the outside. And a lot of times it produce problems within the first family from having a second family and so forth. And that's something, I mean, think about it. When you go in your kid's room tonight, and a lot of you guys, when you go in the kid's room tonight and you look at your daughter or you look at your son, even though they might not be your daughter or your son, or you have a suspicion that they're not your daughter or your son, how would you treat those kids at that time? Hell, you might not find out until they're grown. How would you treat them as an adult? You've been taking care, of this motherfucker for 21 years. You put him through college. You bought all this shit. You bought him a new car and blah, blah, blah. Would it matter? Would you care? How would you feel about your wife if she's still your wife? She's been lying to you for 20 some years or 30 years or whatever. Oh yeah, he's yours. But he's really not. In essence, a motherfucker 30 years ago or 25 years ago, 21 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever the case may be, she let someone fuck her and nut in her and get her pregnant. And you've been raising this kid as your own, ignorant of his real biological gene pool. Would that matter to you? Would you blame it on the kid? Would you blame it on the woman? Would you blame it on both? I want to read some segments of the report that was done by Miss Jessica Rapana. Let me see. Let me read one. Okay. This is one. My wife and I have a beautiful daughter. My wife doesn't know that I found out the daughter isn't mine. It doesn't matter. She's my daughter, and nothing will change that. Okay. After 6 deployments, I assume he was in the Navy. I know what deployment is very well. Trust me. My wife finally came clean and admitted that our 4-year-old daughter isn't mine. Yet, she accused me of cheating numerous times. Okay, another one. I found out the little girl I was raising isn't mine when I found my girlfriend's journal. I'm a stay-at-home dad. If I leave, all 3 of us will be screwed. Wow. My girlfriend is having a baby in 10 weeks. I'm not the father. Wow. I know the baby isn't mine. Just waiting on this income tax check. Then I'm leaving her. I'm pretty sure my son isn't mine, but I'm too scared to rock the boat, so I don't say anything. I didn't find out my daughter wasn't mine until she was an adult. I'm looking into getting all my child support back. Wow. Just found out that the kid of her isn't mine. I feel relieved but disappointed at the same time. I'd have taken great care of the little girl, but now she's with the father. My girlfriend doesn't think I know our daughter isn't mine. I do not. Wait a minute. I do know she's not mine, but I love my daughter so much I could never say someone else is her father. I just found out my 19-year-old daughter isn't mine. I'll never stop loving her no matter what. But her mom, my future ex-wife, can die a slow, painful death. I don't want to get a DNA test done on my child because I'm scared it'll tell me she's not really mine. I made up my mind that I am her daddy no matter what because she's my daughter. So there's different stories. There's different scenarios from those. Some guys, they don't want to know. They have a strong suspicion, but they don't want to know if the kid is theirs. They don't want to know. And maybe they don't want to know because the pain is so great. Because they have a notion that their wives cheating on them, but they don't want to actually know that their wives actually fuck somebody else and actually let somebody else nut in them. They don't want to know that. They figure what they don't know won't kill them. Some guys already know. They don't give a fuck. They're like, this is my child. They pretty much forgiven the wife. Let's move on. This is my daughter. I'm not going anywhere. Some guys be like, no. This is not my child. Fuck her. I'm out. So, that's the reality of what humanity is. I mean, we're all human. Speaking of myself, how would I react to it? This is the kind of shit that you really don't know until you actually in a situation like this. So it's hard for me to answer. I really don't. This would be difficult. I don't have kids. But if something like this happened to me, and I've been taking care of this kid for, 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, there's all kind of scenarios out there, all different types of situations where people have found out that kids weren't theirs. After decades, sometimes after a couple of years, sometimes after many decades. So it depends on the situation, but if it was me, would it matter? It probably wouldn't. It wouldn't matter with the kid, and the reason why I say that because the kid, it's not the kid's fault. If I had a relationship with that kid and raised the kid as mine, even 2 years, I mean, hell, if you have a puppy for a week, you're not taking him back to the pound. Huh? If you have a fish in a damn fish bowl, you're not taking them, back to the pet shop after a week. And I'm talking about a fish or a fucking puppy. So if you have a baby that you've been in their lives since the time they were born, and you find out that they're not yours, you're not gonna say, well, shit. Fuck you. I don't want you. You're not mine. Fuck. I mean, if you did that, you're a cold motherfucker. Really. You are. I don't think it should matter. If you have a relationship with the kid, it shouldn't matter. I mean, that's if you were there when the kid was born, or you wasn't there when they were born. You were there from the time they were 2 years old till 10. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't work. But if, you were there from the time they were born, and you really realized that, they were a part of you. A lot of guys dream of having kids, like myself. I dream of having kids one day. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's always been in the back of my head, like, if I get married and have kids one day, what if those kids turn out not to be mine? That always been in the back of my head. I don't, it's not that I want to think that way, but it's just, a little aspect, that is just a little part of my mind thinking that way. I know a lot of you saying, well, you're not really trusting of a woman. No. It's not that. It's not that I don't trust a woman, and hopefully I marry a woman that is, honorable and wouldn't cheat on me. But I'm also realistic and realize that sometimes shit happens. Sometimes, we are being humans. Things happen. It happens all the time. It happens every day. Men who are married, they fuck other women. Because they're caught in a weak point of their lives. Women who are married fuck other men because they're caught in a weak moment in their lives. Shit happens. How many people do you know or have come across in your lifetime where they've had kids out of wedlock or had kids, on the outside, they call it, they're married, but they still fucking other people and got kids. How many people you know like that? I know at least 5 or 6 right on top of my head. And not saying that the other motherfuckers that don't know they're raising somebody else's seed. So would it matter? No. It would not matter with me, with the kid. It would not. It wouldn't. I've already established a relationship with that kid. Like I said, if I get a puppy from the pound, I'm not taking him back after a week. Or a day. If you get a puppy from the pound, you're not taking that puppy back. No way. That's why they know if you come to the pound and they put that motherfucker in your arms, you're going to take him home, pretty much. They know they got your ass. That's why they're always trying to get you in the pound. Oh, yeah, hold him. Yeah, ain't he a cute puppy? You're not taking him back. Get the fuck out of here. So if you're not taking a fucking dog back, you're not taking a kid back. And if you do, you're a cold motherfucker. You're a bastard. You've already established a relationship with that kid. The kid is already calling you daddy. It shouldn't matter with you. It's not the kid's fault that your wife fucked somebody else or your girlfriend fucked somebody else. It's not the kid's fault. It really isn't. So no, it would not matter with me with the kid. Now with the woman, that's a different story. That's a different story. That is one thing. I can forgive a lot of things. I can forgive a lot of shit. But that's one thing that I really don't think I could forgive on. I don't, it depends. I might be at a part of my life where I'm like, fuck it. I forgive you. Whatever. But speaking now, no. And I've done an earlier episode on this as well. Infidelity is something that I just can't forgive. That's going too far. That's going too far. You actually, we're married. You're taking vows and you actually fuck somebody else and had the nerve to let them nut in you. That would rub me the wrong way. No, it wouldn't matter with me and the kid. But it would matter with me and the woman. I don't think, even if I did forgive her and blah, 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 and stay with her for the sake of the kid, I don't think I could ever trust that woman fully ever again. She been lying to me for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. She been lying to me a long time, telling me this motherfucker over here was mine. Knowing that he really wasn't. And how many of you out there that actually look at your kids every day and you see that little motherfucker don't look like you. He don't look like your daddy. He don't look like your mama. Okay, he might look like your wife. Okay. The first one, okay, you might let that slide, but all of them, shit, something going funny around this motherfucker. You know. So yeah, it would be very difficult for me to forgive the woman who actually cheated on me with the kid. And all of this science and bullshit that's going on today with people testing their DNA, a lot of people are actually finding out that they are not the kids' parents. You know, a lot of men, particularly, are finding out that that's not my son. That's not my daughter. You know, taking all these DNA tests, finding out if they come from Europe or Australia or Antarctica or some shit. They finding out that the kid is not theirs. They don't have the same DNA. Or they might go to the hospital and the kid is having some kind of procedure done and he need a transfusion. Or they say, okay, the father would be a great match. And they test the father's blood. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. This ain't right. Shit. Something wrong. Tell the father I want to talk to him. Sir, have a seat. I got some bad news for you. You know, a lot of ways in today's time that men can actually find out that the kids are not theirs. A lot of you who are listening to the sound of my voice have kids who are not yours. And you know about it, it's not yours. Maybe your wife know you know, maybe she don't know. And maybe she want me to shut the fuck up. Why are we listening to this show? God damn it. The fuck? Please shut his ass up. You know. I would hope that, you know, I'm gonna tell you like this. I hope this is something that I never have to live through. But if I did, I would hope that my wife would be honest with me. Like one of those segments I wrote you, she actually told her husband, look, the daughter's not yours, or the son was not yours. I forget what it was. But they basically told the guy that the kid is not yours. She came clean. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If a woman came clean to me, I would be more apt to forgive her. God damn, it would still be hard, though. It would be very hard. That's something that, you know, I can forgive for anything else, but that. She actually, you know, we're married, we took vows together, and she actually fucked somebody else and let them nut in her. Man, that would be so difficult. But it would be, I would be more inclined to forgive her if she came to me and, you know, say, hey, Roosevelt, I fucked up, you know, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, a year ago, you know, 20 years ago, whatever the case may be. You know, I fucked up. Please forgive me. I would be more inclined to forgive her. And I admit that if a great amount of time has passed by, like if the kid is 20 or 30 or 35, I would be more inclined to forgive. But if it was more recent, I don't think I could forgive her. I don't know. That's some hard shit. But, you know, that's, like I said, that's something that you don't know how you react until it actually happens. But speaking now, I don't think I could forgive her. You know, and had a kid? No. Now, me and the kid's relationship will not change. I'm still going to come and be in that kid's life. I'm still going to be a part of their lives. I'm still going to teach them how to ride a bicycle. I'm still going to teach them how to skate. I'm still going to teach them how to swim. I'm still going to teach them how to shave. I'm still going to teach them when to start fucking girls. I'm still going to be a part of their lives. Our relationship will not change because as far as I'm concerned, that kid is mine. I've been there from day one. No, it will not change with me. But it would change with the woman. It would change with the mother of that kid. You know, depending on the time that passed. If it was 1 year, I definitely probably couldn't forgive her. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. You know. But we start getting to 15 years, 20 years, 18 years, blah, blah, blah. I say, yeah, I can forgive her. I'd be mad as fuck, but I can forgive her. But it will not change my relationship with the kid. And I think that a lot of guys today, you know, some segments that I read earlier, you know, some guys don't give a fuck. They know the kid is not theirs, and they just don't give a fuck. They know the wives cheated. Oh well, life goes on. Those are some strong fellas. You know, that's not me. But there's some strong fellas. They actually forgiving the woman. They stay home with the kid and raise the kid happily ever after. But that's not realistic. Like I said, I would not change my relationship with the kid, but I would change my relationship with the mother. It's not the kid's fault that the mother, you know, messed up, you know, committed adultery, or just, if they're not married, just simply cheated. It's not the kid's fault, you know. So how would you answer that question? If you find out that your kid that you have, or kids, plural, you find out that they were not yours. And there's been stories where there's been families with 5 kids and only 4, only one was the father, the other 4 was not. There's been many cases like that. So you think about yourself. If you find out your kids that you see every day and that you feed every day and that you clothe and pay for the water and, you take care of them, you provide for them, how would you feel if you found out that those kids was not yours? Would you blame the kid? Or would you blame the wife? Or would you blame both? Fuck them all. There's fathers out there like that as well. Fuck them both. That's real. That happens. The father's so angry and he realizes that, I don't want to deal with none of the motherfuckers. Fuck the mom, fuck the kid. I'm out. So ask yourself that question. If you looked at your kids and you found out that they weren't yours, and I know a lot of you are going to do some DNA tests tomorrow. But if you find that out, how would you feel? Who would you blame? It's a hard question. And that's a question that I hope that many of you, or all of you actually, including myself, will never have to answer. But it's always in the back of your head, isn't it? Mother's baby, father's maybe. Anyway, that concludes another episode of the X and Y Show. I hope that you enjoyed this segment. Be sure to subscribe to the X and Y Show. I'm on a lot of favorite venues. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on iTunes. I'm on TuneIn. I'm on Castbox. I'm on Blueberry. I am on Google Play. I am on Spotify. And I'm on iHeartRadio. So whatever you find that your listening pleasure is, be sure to find me on XY Show. Subscribe. And be sure to listen every week and also be updated every week on every new episode. You can also find me on different social media outlets such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. And you can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. www.thexyshow.com. You can find everything there, my social media and my platforms as well. You can also contact me. Send me a note saying how you're enjoying the show, how you're hating the show, any constructive criticisms, any recommendations on future episodes would be great. Or you just want to say hello, or you just want to say anything. You just want to talk to me, or you want me to take you out for chicken wings. Who knows? All of that is on the website. There's also a spot for the XY Show store where you can buy a t-shirt, a coffee mug, Android cover, iPhone cover. You can order all of that for your pleasure as well, and let everyone know that you are a true X and Wire. Send me a pic, and I will definitely post it on my IG account. So everything is on my website, www.thexyshow.com. So be sure to check it out. So I'm so glad to be back. Life is short. Life is short. A lot of the older generation are moving on. So if you are blessed to have a lot of your family, definitely let them know how you appreciate them as much as you can, because nothing is more important than family. Always remember that. And with that said, I will always leave you with this. There cannot be love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.